Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing a bronzed glowy skin foundation routine. It's what I've got going on at the moment. I really do like this look and I love the products that I use. I'm using some new products that I've hauled recently so you guys can see them in action. I feel like it's really glowy. I'll do the whole YouTuber face head tilt thing. I know it's a little bit scary for those of you who are oily skin, but I have gone out through the video and given little tips and tricks for those of you who may be dry, who may be oily, and how you can modify it to suit. But I hope you enjoy the tutorial. And let's get started. We're going to start off with skin prep. I have already cleansed my face. I used my Carlisonic Mia Fit and I also used my Avene Clearance Cleansing Gel. And then I went in with a moisturizer. I've used the Embryolisse Hydra-Mat Emulsion, which is a really nice moisturizer for combination oily skin. And I've let this sit in for a good 5 minutes. I'm going to be using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. I love this product. I think it works great for both oily and dry skin, and I feel like it definitely works on giving you a glowy base. Now the caveat to this is that because we are using a slightly more dewy foundation, if you do have really oily skin, I would suggest skipping this time around and maybe going for a mattifying primer, something like the L'Oreal Infallible Mattifying Base, or maybe even the Benefit Professional Matte Rescue. A pro tip when it comes to priming is to use a good eyeshadow base in areas where you really need the foundation to stick. So I'm actually going to use the NARS Pro Prime Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. I'm going to pop a little bit of this just around the outside of my nose, in the center or the bridge of my nose here, and sort of up onto the forehead, which is where I get oil or shine through. Just like a little bit out here, a little bit on the tip, and just a little bit around the corners of my mouth, blending that in with my finger. We're starting with the glow early before we even go in with foundation. I'm going to take the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. This one is in the shade Sunlight, which is a really nice bronzy shade, and I'm going to be applying this to my cheekbones. I'm putting this underneath the foundation because it is a really intense product, borderline OTT, depending on how much glow you like. So by putting it underneath the foundation, we have that glow shining through and not looking like a crazy disco ball. Look at that glow. If you have a dry skin type, you may want to run this down the center of your face as well. Because I do tend to get oily in the center portion of my face, I'm going to skip applying too much shimmer here early on. We're going to go in with the foundation next. I'm using the Giorgio Armani Maestro Glow Nourishing Fusion Makeup. I'm going to give this a shake because it is a bi-phase formula. You need to make sure the pigment is mixed up with the rest of the product. This foundation is definitely geared towards more dry skin, so if you're my dry skin peeps out there, I think you're going to enjoy this one. For my more oily friends out there, you might find that this one is a little bit more dewy than you're used to, and that's totally okay. You can still use the foundation. You just want to make sure you've prepped your skin for your skin type, trying to mattify it the best that you can. And then you also want to make sure that you powder correctly, which I'm going to go through, and then have blotting sheets on hand. Blotting sheets are going to be your absolute savior. So I'm just tapping this in with my IT Cosmetics dual-ended Heavenly Luxe Complexion Perfection No. 7 brush, which I absolutely love. I'm using shade number 4 today, which is a touch warmer than my natural skin tone, so I'm just going to bring it down the neck to make sure that it blends. I highly recommend the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye to conceal both under the eyes as well as on the face. It does wonders on the skin to cover up any imperfections. It's also very grippy, so I find that it seems to last quite well on me on blemishes as long as I set with a powder. I'm going to dab this just on any areas that need a little bit more coverage, a little bit more perfecting, including around my nose. And then I'll also do under my eyes as well. For this portion of the tutorial, you want to choose a concealer that matches your skin tone, or more importantly, your skin when it's got foundation on it, because we don't want to draw any further attention to the blemishes by having the concealer be too dark or too light. To further brighten under the eyes, I am going to go in with a lighter concealer. This is the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer, and I've got the shade Fair. Don't want to do too much of this. The last thing that I would want is for this look to end up cakey at all. Before we move in with any powders, I want to finish up with the cream product. So I'm going to take the Marc Jacobs. This is the Spotlight Glow Stick. I'm going to use this as a bit of a base for our like upper cheekbone highlight. So I'm just going to tap this along the tops of my cheekbones. I can feel all the oily girls out there looking at me like, Rachel, you are so shiny. I cannot do this. Just wait. I promise you guys, it will come together in the end. And hopefully all you more dry skin girls out there are thinking, yes, glow, dewiness, shine. The next tip I have is specifically for oil control. You want to take a blotting paper and you just want to tap a little bit on the areas that tend to get oily before you actually powder. Because the problem with powdering over skin that's already oily or dewy is that it can become cakey quite quickly. So if you actually blot before you powder, you'll find that you're taking away any excess oil or moisture from the skin, and that way the powder will just set the pigment in place and hopefully won't cake up on you. As for powder, I am going to powder certain areas with a mattifying powder. I know it's glowy, but you need to keep some areas matte to keep it wearable. I'm going to be using the NYX High Definition Finishing Powder for that. So for my dry skin girls, you want to concentrate this mainly just underneath the eyes, because no matter what type of skin you have, oily, combo, dry, you want to keep underneath the eyes matte for two reasons. One, because if it is shiny, it can end up actually looking sunken in. And also your concealer can crease and your mascara can smudge. I like to press gently on my lower lash line just to make sure that there are no creases when I am powdering, so that the powder gets everywhere. Now you can stop there if you are dry, but for oily, you want to powder wherever else you need it. So I'm going to do around the nose, sort of on the top of the nose, in the center of the forehead here, and also my chin and just around my mouth, over any blemishes that you've concealed. For the rest of the face, I'm going to go in with one of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders. This one's in the shade Diffused Light, just on a big fluffy brush. I'm just going to tap this over the rest of the face. Because this is a glowy powder, hopefully it will keep your makeup where you want it to be and help it settle down, but still maintaining that glowy finish. To bronze up the skin, I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is a gorgeous, really creamy feeling product. It is a powder though, and it has a slight satin finish to it. It's not completely matte, but it's not shimmery at all. So it's going to keep this look wearable, but also maintain that glowy look on the skin that we're going for. I am using that 3E kind of motion there. Temples, cheekbones, jawline. Now at this point you may want to carve out a bit of a cheekbone. For some people, and often for me as well, the bronzer is enough, but I am going to contour a little bit. I'm going to be using the new Contour Spectrum palette from Zoeva, and I'm going to take the cool tone shade in the bottom, is this the right hand corner here? Don't ask me to do my left and right. It's a little known fact about me, but I am terrible with left and right. Absolutely shocking. I'm also going to be using the Zoeva Face Paint Vegan brush just to really apply this underneath the cheekbone, right at the back of the hairline, and blending that up into the bronzer that we've already placed. And then if you want to further carve that out, you can take a little bit of this yellow powder that they've got and just run this along right underneath where you've just placed your contour powder. We want to take it to that next level. So we're going to do a two-step highlighting method, although technically it's three because we already did that cream one before. So I'm going to take a slightly more subtle, more golden highlight. This one is the Highlight 01 Matte Radiance Baked Powder from Laura Mercier. I'm just really not good with my words right now. I'm going to take my Zoeva fan brush. I'm going to load the brush up, and then I'm going to apply this to the tops of the cheekbones, but I'm going to be applying it in a more diffused placement, I guess you could say. I'm also going to bring it up along the brow bone, underneath the brow, just in this entire area. Because this is more of a matte finished highlight, although I feel like it's a bit more of a satin finish. It's going to be better for those of you who have enlarged pores or who have maybe some breakouts on the cheekbones, because it's not going to exacerbate them as much. Although I would say that if you are experiencing active breakouts, you do want to try and avoid placing highlighter on them, because that's just going to draw attention to them. If you're really oily and this is just scaring you, skip it, it's okay. And if you're dry, go nuts. Okay, then taking it to the next level, a little bit of Max Fix Plus onto the brush to dampen that up. And then I'm gonna go in with a slightly more intense highlighter. This is one of my favorites. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Starlight highlight. I'm gonna pick this up and we're gonna apply this just to the tops of the cheekbones. This is gonna really intensify this highlight and give you the glow that you've always dreamed of. I'm really liking that glow. If you've gone a little bit over the top, just tap your foundation brush all around the edges just to blend it in together. This is the Marc Jacobs Air Blush in Kink and Kisses. This is a really nice satin finish again, so we're gonna keep that glowiness to our skin. I'm gonna concentrate it towards the front of the blush to keep it just light. I'm gonna apply this on the tops of the cheekbones, almost swirling it in where that highlight meets that bronzer, to blend it all together so it just looks like a wash of color. I really like the effect of a slightly higher blush placement. Final steps for this foundation routine is a setting spray. Now, if you are combo oily or oily, I would suggest a matte finishing spray. It's not going to take away the glowiness of the skin, but it's just going to help try and keep that makeup in place that little bit longer, stop those oils from breaking through. I have here the NYX Matte Finishing Spray. If you are on the drier side, you can maybe go for something like Mac Fix Plus. This is more of a hydrator than it is an actual setting spray. Or even the Caudalie Beauty Elixir. This has an oil in it, which is actually really hydrating for the skin, and you can apply it if you apply a light mist of it. It's not gonna break down your makeup too much. And for those of you who are dry, it's just gonna feel really nice on your skin. I'm gonna go in with the NYX just because I am a little bit on the oily side. You can pair this bronzed glowy skin with whatever look you would like. I've gone for some bold brows, a little bit of smudged outliner, lots and lots of mascara, and a glossy lip. So that completes this bronzed glowy skin tutorial. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I took my hair out of the bun. It went a little bit crazy, but we're just going to embrace the messy volume right now. For a list of all the products that I used, check the description box. I will also have my social media links there, so please come say hi to me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you're new, please subscribe. Click that subscribe button wherever it happens to be below me, so you can join the YouTube family. And other than that, I'm gonna go. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. My name is Rachel, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye.